Alright guys, what's going on? Levi Trumbull here. So as promised, I am going to give you guys an update as it relates to the Frostburg College party shooting that transpired on May 7th of this year. You will remember it was a story that I believe is vastly underreported. Given the aggressive nature of this shooting, you had one person killed and multiple other people who were FSU students who were injured as well. You also had one of the individuals who actually was a football player for Frostburg State University. They didn't have anything to say about that, but obviously just a very tragic incident. It has been a while since we've talked about it. There have been updates that I want to share with you, and even new arrests as it relates to this situation. There have been two new people arrested who they suspect are involved in this shooting. The last time, and again, it's probably been 3 or 4 months since I've talked about this subject. So obviously, there are new updates, new developments, new documents on the books, and new arrests, most notably. So I just want to dive into some of the updates as it relates to that horrendous shooting that took place at an off campus party on May 7th, 2023, in the Frostburg area. So the first thing that I want to show you guys is, I want to highlight this, is these are our four suspects right now. Get a good look at them. And I have their pictures individually that I will show you one by one. But these are the four guys right here that the Frostburg City Police, I'm trying to think, give me 1 second. Yes, the Allegheny County that's in. So yes, these are the four suspects as it relates to the incident on May 7th for the shooting that took place specifically in the basement of that college party. So let's just go through these individuals one by one. So first, we have this guy right here. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is Javon Vinson Epifanio. Then we have Benjamin Laurent Atyam. Then we have the third guy, who is Daiquan Tyrone Raymond Guy. And the fourth suspect we have is, zoom out a little bit, is Malik Nigel Lewis. So these are the four suspects. These are the four who are indicted as it relates to that whole situation in Frostburg. Moving on, we've brought you this charging document before. You guys are probably quite familiar with the facts of this case as it relates to this specific charging document. There were four separate documents issued. This is the one that relates to Javon. Again, this is the charging document for the district court. Obviously, these go before a grand jury and turn into indictments, and we'll bring you those in a minute. But as you know, we brought you this before, and we did a whole video on that, and there's no sense in going over these charging documents again. But you're familiar with the fact that essentially these four people walked into the basement of that FSU off-campus college party, and they had beef. They had a feud with this guy, Alexander Redondo. They ended up ringing shots out at him and killed him. Multiple other people were injured in this incident, but that is essentially the nuts and bolts of what took place here. And again, we went through this charging document. I will leave a link in the description if you haven't seen that video, where we talk about everything that is alleged in this 6-page, it goes on for 6 pages in the application, but we have gone over that before, and we have satisfied that already. So obviously, a jury trial cannot be held in the District Court of Maryland. You have to do that in the circuit court. So these issues went before a grand jury for 4 separate individuals. The individuals I just showed you, these guys right here. And indictments were all put out as it relates to all 4 of them. We are using Benjamin Atyam's indictment just for the sake of this video, but just know that there are 4 indictments just like the one that you see here. And the indictment goes on, and again, for each individual to say that, first count, murder in the first degree; second count, connection to murder in the first degree; third count, reckless endangerment; fourth count, assault in the first degree; fifth count, assault in the first degree; sixth count, assault in the first degree; seventh count, assault in the first degree; eighth count, the use of a firearm during the commission of a felony or violent crime. Same thing with the ninth count. Same thing with the 10th count. And yeah, it looks like the 11th and 12th count are also going to be for using that firearm during the commission of a violent crime and or a felony. So that's the indictment right here. Obviously, you have to be hit with that before you are brought in. That's just a matter of constitutionality. But yes, there are 4 indictments just like this as it relates to each one of those defendants and each one of those individuals I just showed you. So, and for the record, all 4 of those individuals are currently incarcerated pending their trial right now somewhere in Allegheny. I would imagine it would be the Allegheny County Adult Detention Center. I would assume that would be where they are residing at this moment in time, pending trial. You would certainly have that in a case where you're looking at 4 defendants, all with counts of murder. So moving on, and this is where things get very interesting, and we won't talk about all of this, but during the discovery phase, we are in the discovery phase right now of all of these 4 trials. One of the things, and I can honestly say I've never really seen a more detailed line of discovery dropped as it relates to these 4 defendants. So what this is this is the state of Maryland letting the court know this is the evidence that it has provided the defense counsel as it relates to all of the exhibits that could be admitted during trial, and it is extremely detailed. This is a 45-page document, and it goes on to say everything that's been provided, charging documents, and it just goes on and on and on. These are all the different reports that we're taking, presumably from investigators who checked this situation out. You have incident reports, activity lists, additional officers, narratives from different officers who were on scene. I mean, this document is so lengthy, and if anybody even wants any of these documents, be sure to hit my email address, because if you're somebody who's got all the time in the world, wants to check all this stuff out, we try to hit a lot of bullet points very quickly in these videos. However, this is tons of information, and you possibly cannot squeeze it all into a 10-minute or even a 20-minute condensed video. But we're just going to go through some of it. You have images, property records, blood exposure narratives, more incident reports. You have cellular forensics as it relates to Redondo's cell phone. I mean, everyone's cell phone, a full forensic analysis on all their electronic devices to get text messages, to get GPS locations, all of that. 911 calls, crime scene photos and crime scene reports. It goes on, autopsy photos. Pictures of vehicles that were involved, and it just lists every single item that the state has in their possession that they have turned over. Emails, home cameras. I'm going to assume these are cameras, surveillance cameras that were taken under subpoena as it relates to investigations, interviews that were taken. And it just goes on and on and on. This is a massive amount of discovery produced as it relates to these 4 defendants. Investigative efforts, body camera footage, search warrant applications. Wow. Yeah, guys, I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. So I am not even going to talk much more even about this particular line of discovery. I think you guys get the context of where I'm getting at with this. It's a very long and detailed document containing everything that the state has that it's going to perhaps present during the course of trial. Just an amazing and extensive amount of records, both paper, audio, video, however it is, tons of information that is coming to the defense in this case. So, moving on, another very interesting record that I pulled off of the Maryland judiciary is the following, and that is the fact that the state in this case, for all 4 of these defendants, you see it right here, for Atyam, for Epifanio, for Guy, and for Lewis, the state's attorney's office writes for all of their attorneys, "Dear counsel, please be advised that the state, in accordance with criminal law 2-203, hereby places the defendant on notice that the state intends to seek a sentence of imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole upon the defendant's conviction for murder in the 1st degree. Should you have any questions or wish to discuss this matter, please do not hesitate to contact me." So you have the state putting defense on notice, putting the court on notice that they are not playing games as it relates to this situation. They want life in jail, no parole, no questions asked. And that is, again, that's why you look back at this line of discovery. You have this, again, it's like, it's amazing because you think this is long. This is just the document that tells you what it is defense counsel received. We could be talking the state turning over thousands, tens of thousands of pages, hundreds of hours of video, hours and hours and hours of, of audio, whatever it is. We're talking a massive display of discovery here going over to the defense. Again, it takes 45 whole pages just to list everything that they turned over to defense. It is one of the most extensive line of discoveries and notice of discovery without request that I have personally ever seen in my life. It's just truly unbelievable. But anyway, we've talked about that, and we've talked about the letters. The last topic that I want to talk about right now is the scheduling as it relates to these 4 defendants. So it looks like Benjamin Atyam will be the first up to have his jury trial. They have his jury trial set for, looks like, yes, it's November 9th, 2023 will be the first date of his trial for these criminal proceedings. So that's 11/9, and today is 10/2. It's in about a month. Yeah, the first trial in this case starts in about a month from now, and that will be for Ben Atyam. Then after that, we have Javon Epifanio. The state plans to start that trial on December 7th of this year. After that, you move on to Daiquan Guy, whose trial is supposed to start on March 13th of 2024, so that's next year. And then lastly, we have Malik Lewis. He will be last to come up, and it looks like his jury trial will start, let's see here. No, I'm sorry. Malik Lewis's trial will actually start right after. right after Javon Epifanio's trial, then you will have Malik Lewis's trial. So I guess the proper order would be Ben Atyam is up first, then you have Javon, then you have Malik, and then finally they plan to wrap everything up next year in 2024 with Daiquan Guy's jury trial. So that is everything. That is your update as it relates to the Frostburg College Party shootings that took place on May 7th, 2023. Obviously, again, I will reiterate a very unfortunate set of circumstances. It's amazing that we have the technological advancements that we have today where they were able to the streets and compile a vast amount of evidence to get these guys and to what evidence that will ultimately put these guys in jail for the rest of their lives. So I'm sure we will continuously cover this during the course of the trials and the outcomes as it relates to what happens here. But obviously, if you're any of these four defendants, the case against you right now is not looking good, as it should not. If you're somebody who has perpetrated these kinds of essentially violent, extreme shootings, this unbelievable recklessness, then you get what's coming to you, and that's very fair to say in this situation. So, Levi Trumbull reporting in Frederick. Thanks for watching, and we will keep you updated as to everything that goes on in the future. Take it easy, guys.